Hey guys, this is Charles from Corona Geek, and I just want to remind you that this Saturday, December 1st, we're going to have a big Corona Meetup on Google+. It's going to be a live online hangout for 6 hours. We're going to talk all about Corona, the SDK, and it's going to be a big blowout. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're starting in Boston, we're going to move to Texas, and then we're going to end up in Hawaii, and it's going to be really, really cool. Starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Here in the U.S., so you have to be sure to check that out. Now, we have had questions about that as to whether or not we're going to record the whole thing because it is 6 hours. It is going to start Eastern Time in the U.S., which means that for some folks around the world, that's going to be pretty late for them. And as a matter of fact, let me just let you hear what Pete Moxon had to say about the whole thing, and then I'll answer his question here for you in just a second.
Hi Corona Geeks, this is Pete Moxon from the UK. It's great to see that there's going to be a big Corona Meetup online event coming up on December 1st. I see it's going to be 6 hours long. Now, for me, I'm based in the UK and it's going to be starting, let's see, that's going to be, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, so that's going to be about 8 p.m. my time, which is fine, but then as it goes for 6 hours, man, I'm going to need matchsticks to keep my eyes open. And also, I'll probably have my wife and kids complaining that I'm keeping them up. So my question is, do you plan on recording these sessions? Because if you do, that'd be great. I'll be able to catch up at a more comfortable time. Now, my second question is, first of all, I'll say, I've only just found Corona over the last week. And I found the Corona Geeks live Hangout show out there on YouTube, and I think it's fantastic. Slowly working through each episode. Now, one question I've got for you, hopefully you could answer it on the show, is what would you say is the number one best way for a developer that's starting out in mobile development to get productive as fast as they can in Corona? I know there's lots of tutorials out there and there's some screencasts, but what would you say is your number one go-to place for someone to get going? Okay, thanks a lot. Love the show, and I'll keep watching. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Excellent. Thanks, Pete. That was some very good questions, and let me just address them one by one. First of all, yes, we're going to record everything. It's going to be a 6-hour event, but we're going to record as much of it as humanly possible. We're actually going to be recording on this end here at my house, and then at another location separate from that, we're going to have a recording going on there. That way, if anything goes wrong with either recording, hopefully we'll be able to splice together enough material that we can cover the whole event. So we will, as soon as we get done with that, of course it's going to be 6 hours worth of video, so we're going to try to be a little bit organized about that on how we record it and post it, but do give us a little bit of time to get those videos up. So so there you go. There's that answer for that. As far as learning Corona, there are going to be some announcements on Saturday at the Big Corona Meetup that you'll want to hear about. But as far as learning it, the best way that I have seen my own personal experience has been to just dig in and get started. And what I mean by that is go to the coronalabs.com website and look at their API documentation. Just familiarize yourself with that. You can really start by just reading their documentation and figuring out, wrapping your mind around all the things that the Corona SDK does. Apart from that, then you'll want to go through the tutorials that are on the coronalabs.com website. They've got some great tutorials there, things that will help you get started and understand some of the concepts. Now, there's some great books out there. There is Dr. Brian Burton's books. He's on the show all the time. You can check out his books at burtonsmediagroup.com. There's Michelle Fernandez. She's got a book. But of course, every resource that's out there has its own different little spin. Brian's book includes some game development, but it also focuses on creating apps in general. Michelle's book is focused solely on game development. There are some videos out there that I'll send you a link to that take you through the basics of Corona and Lua and things like that that are really good. And I can't remember the name of the author at the moment. It might just completely escapes me, and I'm sorry, but I will send that to you. The other thing that you can do is go and look at some of those tutorials. Now just be mindful that Corona is a very fluid, very changing thing. So some of those tutorials use things that that are deprecated, that aren't used anymore. So in some instances, like for example, director or storyboard. Director was an old way of doing scene management that cropped up out of the community before storyboard, which is the Corona Labs official method of scene management today. Before that was available. So some people still like director, some people still use director, but as far as the official roadmap, storyboard is your option for scene management. So you just have to when you look at some of those examples, you're going to see that that some of those examples use director, and that may not necessarily be the best option for you to go down that path of learning director. So just be mindful that some of those examples, the farther out they get, the older they are, the I won't say the less valuable they are to you, but there may be some issues with those tutorials. So the newer the tutorial that you can find, the better. And there's a lot of those new tutorials that are on the coronalabs.com website. Okay. But thank you for that question. I definitely I want to bring that up in today's show as well if we get a chance. But thanks for the recording question. We are going to record that. The Big Corona Meetup is going to be on Saturday, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited about the whole thing, and I hope you are too. So don't forget to go to coronageek.com/big-corona-meetup and check out all the details there, and I'll put a link to that in the description for this video. All right, so have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, thanks. Bye.